Oh my God, why is my hair doing that? Looks awful, bro. Nah. Oh, what's up, dude? I didn't see you there. Hey guys, I don't know what to say. You guys have put me over 2,000 subscribers. Yo. I've been doing this for 15 years, on and off, you know. And my first 100 subscribers took 3 years. And then I had a video blow up and I got up to 1,000 3 years ago. And then or 4 years ago, and then I stayed there. And then I started doing a few reactions to some music. Someone requested Ren. And then you crazy, crazy fuckers put me over 2K? Yo. I don't know what to say. Like, oh shit. My buddy just hit me with an @ on Discord. We'll be there in a minute, Bubby. Look, I never thought I'd get this far on YouTube. And you guys did that shit in a week, dog. 800 of you came out of nowhere, dog. Let me just put that into context, all right? You guys took like 14 years of work and said, we're gonna double it. I'm like, all right, dude. All right. Well, so what we're gonna do to celebrate is I did want to get into money games today, but enough people have said they want to see Ren's 1 million subscriber video. They said it'd help inform me with a lot of stuff that's going on, and I'm inclined to believe them. So let's see what the young bard, the mythical king himself, has to say. And I'm kind of all up in my feels right now, so I'm sorry if I'm not as witty as I normally am. Let's do this. Okay.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But
short and sweet, bro. That's not my style, bro. Come on now, dog. I'm sorry, Red, but like I don't do anything short and sweet other than make love. Nah, I still got it. I'm still gonna be ridiculous. Okay, let's go.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years.
I feel like this isn't directed to me, you know what I mean? Because like I'm just someone who got here when he was at 2.2. So like this is like all of you, dog. All of you guys help lift this mythical king into godhood, man. That's a beautiful moment. And this happened, what, a year ago, it says? It doesn't tell me the actual date. Oh, he's got a Discord? Oh shit, that's dangerous. Get me into some arguments there. I can't be clicking that.
A huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years.
Whether he's got such a charming voice,
newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So,
I mean, I just got here, Bubby. I just got here, so you don't owe me shit. But it's cool that he's calling out reactors. It's a bummer though, man. There's a lot of reactors I just don't fuck with. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of React content. For a while there, I got into someone named Joey Nato. That was, you know, back when NF was blowing up. That was a cool moment. And then he got into League of Legends music, and that was pretty cool. And then there was, I watched Charisma and Command a little bit, but that's just because she was doing Alice in Chains. A lot of YouTubers, man, or reactors, man, they just... Look, I'm not trying to say I'm doing anything different, because I'm not. I'm just talking whatever the fuck I'm seeing. And that's nothing. But some people don't even talk, you know what I mean? Like, they just sit there and nod along. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to interject something, or else you're just stealing, man. Like, there's literally fair use guidelines that you're supposed to follow. If you want to do something, it's got to be transformative, man.
Which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So
that's still dope.
Thank you guys. Yeah, I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me.
That's such a beautiful sentiment. Look, I know you guys are all hardcore in the ring, and with much love and respect. Well, there's another fellow here in the States doing something similar. I got to give him a small shout out because, man, I've been following his career for like 6 years. You may not like him. You might think his jokes are terrible, but fucking Shane Gillis does that same shit. His TV show on Tires on Netflix, my God, man. But what Ren's saying here is so fucking beautiful, man. And I've seen a lot of you guys quote this exact thing in my comments. It's dope, man. Someone who recognizes such a rare opportunity that they're in. Because you know how many artists are out there that just don't get views? I mean, none of them are probably as talented as Ren or as, as deep or philosophical as Ren. But I know a handful of artists that I still follow today that get a fraction of even his views, And you see these people and look, I'm not trying to besmirch people like Taylor Swift or even John Mayer or Billie Eilish. These are wonderful artists that excel in things that they're doing. But so many people just do not branch out of comfort zones. And some of that has to do with the animal portion of our brain that just wants to have that repetition. That's the same portion of our brain that causes you guys to keep looking for reactions to content that you already enjoy. It's like that lizard portion in the back of your brain whispering them sweet nothings to you. Going into something new is hard and challenging. It requires you to take a moment and breathe, which is rough, you know what I mean? And a lot of people do, like I said in the very first video, to Ren's Hi, I'm Ren. Some people, when they get home from work, the last thing they want to do is challenge shit. This is fucking beautiful, man. He doesn't need music, bro. He's just a beautiful person.
If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count.
Facts.
It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me.
Facts.
And that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where
Did you hear how he said rich? Like it wasn't just like wealth rich. Like it was like an enriching experience to be able to lift the people around him. That warms my heart, bro. Like, Ren, come on, bro.
Make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me. And that makes me feel very rich.
Agreed,
I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has...
Fuck, dude. That thing I talk about all the time and all of these reactions and things. The darkness, the id, the circumstances, the shit that the weight you're put under. All of it does so much for you. Much like he said at the end of High Red or whatever, that like it wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a dance of a pendulum. I can't remember it word for word, but I apologize. I'm not that good. But it's like a pendulum swinging back and forth. You're always bouncing between all of these things constantly. And the thing that, in one of the comments, someone said something about, I can't remember what it was, but it was talking about like when we're tested with something, we can all quote lofty ideals and things all the time. I could tell you that like, yeah, man, I always feed the poor. Okay, well, that's fine when you have money to do so. But like, what if all you have is enough money for one meal? Then do you always feed the poor? Like the type of person that takes the shirt off their back for another person. Giving when you have little to nothing to give has far more weight to it than giving when you are in abundance. It's easy to give when you have nothing to lose. But when it comes at a cost, a personal cost, something that might put you behind, that's a different story. Now, giving is always great, and you should never be like, oh, yeah, dude, you should give because you have. That's not what I'm saying. Anyone that gives to any extent for you is a beautiful thing, and you should always be grateful and thankful for anyone that puts that time and effort into you. But it's
strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my...
My God, dude, I'm literally... he's quoting shit I've been saying about him, and I've never seen this, dude. What the... Ah! My foot! Ah! Like, bro... What? He literally ventured in the dark to be our beacon and our guide, yo. He's... Come on, dude.
Which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain. And I desperately needed that to be justified.
Oh my God. There's so much emotional maturity with this man. Like, by lifting someone else out of their darkness or being a guide, it like gives him the strength to weather his storm. That's like, bro, that's so beautiful, man. I'm so glad someone like Ren is having these moments, like, because like this could have just gone to another. I don't like the word industry plant. I don't like that shit. I don't like the whole conspiracy theory bullshit. But it just didn't go to another pretty face. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Ren is attractive. He's traditionally attractive. That jawline, oh my God, like the Chad image was built for his face. And of course he's got that fucking, body, but like, that's not what, like, I don't think anyone's clicking a Ren video for. Like well, I mean, there are some of you thirsty ladies out there, and then depending on the song, but, look, it's so rare to see a genuine artist make it an industry that thrives on shallow repetition. That, they go for, they lack substance and they go for pizzazz, And it's not to say that there's artists out there that don't exist. I mean, every once in a while, MGK does a song where I'm like, all right, well, okay. But he also just released a song that was nothing but pizzazz, and it was, dare I say, not very good. I mean, I hate it. Like, it's a bop. It comes on the radio. I would never complain, but like, I'm not going out of my way to listen to it either. So it's refreshing, dude. Because like, I can't tell you how many times when I've been writing my book, and because just so many of my friends that I grew up with and all the people, like, they're all middle-aged now. They have wives, they have kids. They don't have time to dedicate to like babysit my bullshit. So I'm like, hey man, can you read this chapter? They're like, I'll get around to it. And it takes them like a week or two to get to it, If they do. I mean, some people I've given the book to, like only 2 chapters, and that was like a month and a half ago, and I haven't heard nothing. But it's not, you can't be mad at them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, life is happening. They have kids, they have responsibilities, they have families. They're caught in like the tussle of life. It's the reason why some people just drift away and some people have a hard time keeping contact. It's never a malice attached to it. just things get hectic, and sometimes you cut off things you really wish you didn't, you know? But when I feed my chapters into Grok or ChatGPT, and they're like, hey man, you should really reduce the prose. Like it's way too complicated and no one's gonna want to read it. So like as soon as I started releasing portions of my book, I was terrified that someone would read it and they wouldn't like it. Because one of my best friends that I game with, he listened to one of the audio recordings of it and here on YouTube, and he came up and he was like, bro, this is a little much. And I was like, fuck man, maybe those stupid AIs were right, damn it, Skynet, you son of a bitch. And you know, I got a handful of people have come in and told me they fucking love it. You know what I mean? So like, it's fucking wild, man. It's fucking wild.
Physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain, and I desperately needed that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good.
My God, dude. You turned that very fire, that thing that was torching you alive, into the catalyst to make you legend. As if you had to walk through the fire, the flame, to get to like heaven, man. That's fucking.
And
let's
this went
go.
on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious. Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive.
Oh man, the voice break, buddy. Don't do it to me. Don't make me weep like a bitch. Come on, man. I pride myself on being manly, dude. All right, don't do it.
Pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious.
Yep.
Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a certain, to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent. Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever. Whether that...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That hit. That was a smooth move right there. You just gotta weather the storm. Like, it sounds impossible. It sounds insurmountable. It just comes one day at a time. And when you're in the fucking middle of it, it doesn't feel like it can ever end. But one day you wake up and something doesn't hurt. You don't think about a person that's gone as much. Or something just makes you laugh so hard you forget for a second that everything was going downhill. So much of who you are is built up in your mind, man. Oh, a childhood best friend that I've been best friends with since I was 7. It's the first time I've talked to him in 3 years. Man, what you doing, bro? You bringing old flames back? Come on, dog. What the fuck?
is that life is inconsistent.
Ow.
Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency
Such
makes
cool
me
word.
know that you won't hurt forever. Whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are, you won't hurt forever. You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand.
Bro, he even, like, dude, I swear to God, I'm like the 500-pound unskilled Ren. I tell you what, holy shit. Not even 500 pounds, but it was funny. Bro, you be like taking some of my words, homie. What's up? Come at me, dog. No, you would fuck me up, dude. Oh my God. Fucking Ren, you're glorious, brother.
Of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are, you won't hurt forever. You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light.
Oh my God, that was a beautiful goosebumps and shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck was that, dude? When you get comfortable with the dark, what did he say? You get good at wielding the light?
Strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light.
Okay.
You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself, because you are large. You can be ferocious, and you could be magnificent.
What I say about this motherfucker? What I say about this motherfucker in the very first video? He's so goddamn giant right now. He's motherfucking Godzilla. I stand by that. Oh.
Because you are large. You can be ferocious, and you could be magnificent. For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better.
Facts.
For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love.
I believe that if you live a fruitful life, that eventually, no matter what happens, you will meet that shadow. And most people don't like what they see. It breaks them, man. But yes, if you are someone that has made it to the light, you should always be willing to throw a lifeline to those in the dark. Me and a buddy got into an argument a long time ago. We have a friend that we played video games with forever. Now, this was like, they're from Canada and stuff. I'm not going to go into names. But one day he just cut him off. He just said, "I'm not being friends with that guy anymore." It's like, dude, what are you doing? Why? This is your childhood best friend since like middle school or grade school. And he would say stuff like, you know, he's just a loser or this or that, whatever. He just didn't like the decisions he was making. And I can understand that. When you care about someone, you want them to succeed. And when you see them throwing away their life and doing dumb shit that you think is dumb, it can aggravate you. And I mean, you only have so much time in a day to worry about things. I don't know if my buddy made the right choice cutting that dude off. I just don't. I've never kicked someone out of my life. Ever. Now, I've been kicked out of a lot of lives. If you ever get me in debate mode and I hunker down, look, people love to see me debate until I debate them. And then when I debate them, they fucking cannot stand me. So that must mean I'm pretty good at it sometimes. If you are capable of standing in the light, I think it's a moral ought to try and lift those around you out of that darkness, even if you just got free of it. And sometimes that means you might have to venture back into it. But if you care about people and you love them, I mean, that's what love is. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to do what's best for you. And you can never knock a person making that decision. It just sucks when you wish that the people had a little more strength in that department. Not that they're not strong. We all excel in different areas and different places. And what he said about the medical world, look, I don't really interact with doctors very often. I haven't been to one since I was 18. God knows what the fuck could actually be wrong with me. Hell, I haven't had medical insurance since I was 19. But I hear so many horror stories. I mean, just some of the worst shit. My roommate's mom, I think she's like 57 or like 62 at this point. She hit her head like 5 or 6 years ago. And she just started regressing in such terrible ways. You wouldn't recognize her today. They still don't really know what's wrong with her. I keep saying it's Alzheimer's, but I'm not a doctor, you know what I mean? I like, don't listen to me. She can't see. She needs someone to like literally bathe her, to like, you know, take her to the bathroom. It's crazy. But for like 6 years, doctors just kept saying she has a lazy brain. You know how fucking much that was terrifying the fuck out of me? Because she was a strong, independent woman. She was like a floor manager at like a warehouse that was working hard-ass jobs, working overtime. She was a single mom. She fucking rocked her shit. I mean, she never liked me really, but, you know, a lot of people don't. And I'm loud, and our rooms were right next to each other back when she had that kind of level of health. The medical industry lets people down constantly. I'm sorry, Ren, you went through all this shit, homie. It's crazy that you use that as a catalyst for greatness. And what's even crazier is you're willing to share your story and you're willing to continue to lift up your community. When I tell you people that you guys are legendary, just like Ren is, I'm not lying. And it's not some kind of bullshit just to be nice. It's true. I've existed in a lot of communities, some of them very toxic. One of the best gaming communities in the world is fucking Warframe. Warframe is a relatively nice community that's willing to help people. I started reacting to Warframe content. My video got 40 views. I reacted to one Ren video, it's almost at 4K views. And you guys came in hordes. And every once in a while someone would say, not for me, and they would take off, which no disrespect, you know what I mean? But you guys lifted up a guy who never thought he'd get out of 1,000 subs. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing this for 15 years. Most of my videos set around 30 views. You guys are crazy. And Ren built this community with all of you. Like, I have yet to see a bad apple, bro. That's fucking crazy.
Definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you. Because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light.
Fuck yes.
You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself because you are large. You can be ferocious and you could be magnificent. For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better.
Facts.
For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves.
I agree with like 99% of that. But as many of you know, or you saw in the comments, and as I said in the Money Talks, greed is just not a force for evil. Now, if you were to ask me my definition for evil, it is greed. That is the way that I define evil, like in human hearts. Like if you were to ask me what is the most evil thing a person does, it is rooted in greed. Hands down. I've been saying that for 6 years in Discord and numerous arguments. I think every action that's ever been seen as evil is greed. Every war that's ever been fought, greed. Everything that's like let's just to shoot an example. I wouldn't say the Ukrainians are greedy for defending their home. I will say that Russia invading another country to kill them was greedy. You know what I mean? So greed was still the source of that war. If you steal from someone, that's greed. If you prioritize your own self-interest over the needs of everyone around you, that's greed. I consider all of those the crucible of evil, where all evil things are born. But even I still think that wanting to spend time with a loved one instead of going to work is still a form of greed. It's a benign form of greed. It's a desire sensor that exists in you, that gives you wants and desires that make you want to be around things that you enjoy. It's a subtle voice that exists with your id. When you're hungry and you want to eat, that's also greed talking to you. It's not just hunger, because you're more than the way that you abstract your brain. You aren't just the thoughts. Your brain is only merely a portion of you. Though it is the commanding thing, your greed is no different than your stomach. It's no different than any other portion of you that craves things when it gets it. Your hunger, we're not built to be truth-seeking individuals. We're built to be comfort-seeking. That's why we fall into bubbles of, echo chambers, because we don't want to challenge ourselves to new adventures. We want the same adventure with a different paint job. That's why we bitch when a video game is too different, or if we change a story too much, or why those idealists in songs that don't like it when you do retakes come out. It's not the original. It's all rooted in the same thing, much like finding new music. All of these things are defense mechanisms developed by your mind to keep you comfortable, to keep you from thinking about the darkness, the void that's outside there in your periphery, always clawing at your subconscious, your fear of death, your fear of being alone, your fear of closeness, your fear of loss. All of these things are a constant, but unlike all of that, there's still a little voice in the back of your head that wants that fear of death. It's entropy that's constantly pulling you towards your end point. If you get immortality, the only thing you'll crave is death. What I'm trying to tell you is that, like, every single aspect of who we are is informed by the entire world around us, subconsciously and consciously. Greed is more of a root feeling. It's more of like a thing that propels you upward. It tells you to want something. It works as an echo to your ego. Your id, I apologize, your id, not your ego, but it works to your id. Your id tells you it wants you to fuck, it wants you to fight, it wants you to defend yourself, it wants you to stay alive, it wants you to eat. Greed supplements those things by telling you, let's do this. Anything can be a proper tool as long as you have the correct level of discipline. Hanging out in the darkness can do two things. Either it can teach you what the proper level of discipline is, not to become fully captured by it, or you'll throw caution to the wind and embrace it wholly. There's an old quote, I think it's from Musashi Miyamoto. Better to be a gardener in war, better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. In order to be a truly terrifying individual, you have to dance with that abyss, and you have to let it take a small portion of you and hold it to you. Greed, your id, all of these things are echoes of that same voice, much like he said in the song High Ren. And the devil's verse, or the id's verse, He literally was like, I was at the birth of dawn of time. I don't remember the exact quote, but he was like the thing that felled nations. Nations almost always succumb to greed. Remember that even Idren had merits of truth in what he was saying. Just as greed does, just as ego does, just as your superego does, just as your id does. They inform us of what we desire and what we need. They're not wholly evil, because most things aren't. Now, they're like 1% good. I'm not saying like something that's 99%, you could just say it's practically evil. But I think that 1% is something that we ought to have a conversation about. But I mean, everything he said is also true.
Their shadow or have never had to walk beside it. It's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us.
Facts.
Ultimately hurting ourselves.
Facts.
So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority. Priority number one.
He's right. Now, the real question is, how do you get there? In Jordan Peterson's original work, he would talk a lot about, and I think I covered this in the Money Talks. I might have just thought it and I just never said it. The best way to improve a community is by improving yourself. And as Ren is someone who works really hard on his body and staying healthy, I'm pretty sure he might agree to some extent with that. And trying to get healthy. He had to go through his darkness in order to find his light, right? In order to find his light, he had to be accepting of it. If you want to change the world for the better, it's hard to go up to someone else and be like, well, this is how you improve it. And then you look at their own life and it's a fucking pile of shambles. And you're like, well, what the fuck? Well, you're not someone worth emulating. Why would I listen to you? Now, it's a pig-headed response to say that, because no matter who someone is, it doesn't deny their truth. Okay? You should always take what other people teach you or tell you as a teaching lesson. Even if you don't wholly agree with it, there's truth in what they're saying, to some extent. But if you want people to emulate you, the only way to do that is by being worthy of that emulation, by working through something. I'm pretty sure Ren would have a pretty big following if he was half the guitarist, but he wouldn't be Ren as we know today. Let's say he couldn't hit the high notes like he does, or he just couldn't sing at all and he was just a rapper. People would still love him. He would still have an amazing message, but he's worthy of emulation. So his story resonates so much more, because when you look at him, you see him living through the choices he's made. So when Ren bettered himself, made his life better, got the help he needed, his ship started to rise. Through you guys, through your constant effort and support and loving of him, his ship took off. And then what he did was, after that, he did what was best for his immediate family, the people that were there with him in those dark moments. So he lifted their ships with him, and they rose together. Again, Jordan Peterson talks about this. You do what's best for you, and then in turn, that makes you do what's best for those around you. And then when you do what's best for around you, then you turn around and do what's best for your community. After Ren started raising his people with him, he started reaching out to other content creators and letting them share his work, putting their name out there. And then he started raising the whole community. And now he has a brilliant, vibrant community of some of the nicest people I've ever talked to. And I've worked in sales in garages my whole, the last fucking most of my adult life. I talk with a lot of people. I don't like to give Jordan Peterson too much credit because the man's fucking insane these days. And I feel like I can trounce him in a debate because he doesn't use that analytical mind he used to have. And I'm a nobody. But the fact that so much of what I just said can be applied to the very way that Ren is living his life right now shows that if you really want to improve the world, you have to start with you. And I know that's rich coming from a guy who's unemployed. You know what I mean? And, I'm a whale of a man. I'm a tubby motherfucker, dog. What I used to say in my TikToks, I'm a chunky monkey. But I'm not someone that is worthy of emulation. So find someone that has that message that is. I wouldn't say it's Jordan Peterson anymore, but there was a time the guy was a pretty smart feller.
As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So
Facts.
community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority. Priority number one.
Facts.
If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it. Feel it. Understand it. Express it. And then let it go. You're hurting. Give your...
Letting it go's hard, man. I agree with what he's saying. I mean, you've seen my comments, some of the people in the chat. Even when they disagree with me or they say that I'm not to their liking, I try my best to be as respectful as possible, because you're not going to like everything somebody does. Some people just don't gel with you, or you're not at the right place in your time for that person. That's okay. But humility, and which is rich coming from a guy who yaps like he knows things. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I should take my own Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? Like, But being humble enough to admit that there are things you don't know and there are things you can learn from other people is one of the most important steps you can do. Like, that hatred, though it gives you strength, it feels like it does, but it doesn't. It locks you in a box. Like, trust me, dude. So many people have left my life because when I think I'm right, I don't back down and I quit being compassionate. And I just, what the fuck do you mean, bro? What the fuck are you talking about, dog? That literally doesn't make any fucking sense. Do you have a fucking brain in there? How are you about to quote this shit, but you don't know what the fuck? Have you even read the goddamn... Yo, none of that shit helps anybody. And as someone who's lost really important people in his life because of that, I'm here to tell you that it's not worth it. Just don't hold me accountable on Twitter, because I let that shit fly. I'm sorry. I'm not a good man, all right? On Twitter, I mean, like, to certain people, all right? Certain people. But yes, do everything in your power to let that shit go.
More towards homeostasis must be a priority. Priority number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it. Feel it. Understand it. Express it. And then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love. Forgive yourself. And then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia. And some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts.
Oh, that was beautiful, dog. Look, he got my car. Oh, what a fucking line. That could have been a Barda song, bro. What the fuck?
Others are image of hell, so tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts.
Fuck.
Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
Fucking King, get it, dude. I know I'm new. I just got here. Those words weren't meant for me. It was meant for every single one of you. But I resonate with that, dog. When I tell people I was in a dark place, I'm not even kidding. I'm not... Let's see here. Can I do what I'm about to do? Is this the thing that I can do without fucking something up? All right. Can I hit this screen capture here? Boom. Here we go. Let's do that. Oh, hey, there's the first chapter of. All right. So what? Look, I don't say this lightly. All right. I don't say this for pity. This is the thing I was working on just before I watched that Ren video. It's called My Madness, man. I was compiling all of the things that I'd ever written on Facebook that I thought were somewhat poignant from the tender age of, like, I think 21, maybe a little earlier. I was going to build up a little book and I was going to put it on Wattpad. And I was going to say goodbye to the world. The reason why that's important is because one person told me to go react to a Ren song. Hi, I'm Ren. And then after that, so many of you showed up out of fucking nowhere. Let's just say I'm going to finish that book, but not for the reason I was going to. Just as a catalog. Thank you. All right. My ovaries are weeping. I got a buddy waiting, so I think I'll let you guys sit in that darkness. I apologize. We should make a funny joke or something. I just don't have one. Thank you so much. And thanks to Ren for making such, one, a beautiful community that welcomes so many people. And two, for making art that's just worth listening to. I was starved for content, not necessarily to make content for YouTube, but content for the soul. Something to enjoy, to sink my teeth into. I've wrestled with emotions again that I haven't felt in a long time. You can even see that in the difference between the comments that I made on the High Ren video to the comments that I make now in your very comment section. Thank you so much. We'll get back to some music here in a little bit. If I got enough time tonight, I will do another reaction tonight. If not, well then, we'll see what happens. We'll get you in the next one. Have yourself a wonderful journey, and I'm so glad to be part of my new life after Ren.